All right, so live again. This is Transparency and Merit, both on YouTube and on X. We are also on other X channels, including Mr. Midnight Movie and I would say Transparency and Merit is also on X as well, formerly known as Twitter. And I have the person up there, and I've done a show on her before. Her name is Megan Hunt. And I believe that she caused the death of a former Marine. I'll get into that later, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, because that's absurd. I think that's absurd, but I got to hear the rest of the story. I don't know about the story at all. So,
well, you know what? I'll get into the rest. I mean, I've done a story on her before. I'll do that later. But the fact that she has never been brought to task for her behavior in regard to this is astounding to me. And it, like I said, we don't have anyone who is opposing, who are effectively opposing these people. We only have controlled opposition against the woke in this country, and we need better opposition, in my opinion. Now, Cornel West has he's running for president. You probably don't know this, Joey, but she is running for president. Melina Abdullah is
I didn't know this.
Yeah, wow. He's picked a woman by the name of Melina Abdullah.
Oh wow!
As vice president.
The great 80s, the great 80s pop sensation, Paula Abdul, right?
No, you'd be absolutely wrong. No, she is co-founder of the Los Angeles chapter of Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter Grassroots as an original member of the group that convened to Black Lives Matter. She serves as a matriarch of the current movement in Los Angeles. In addition to organizing BLM Los Angeles, she hosted 3 local radio shows. But Melina, and by the way, that's not her original name. Her original name is, and forgive me if I mispronounce it, but Melina Rachel Riemann or Ryman. I think it goes Riemann, or maybe Ryman, was born and
How many names does she have?
Well, no, she changed her name. She changed her name to a Muslim name.
Gotcha.
And it's more of to me, it's more of a fashion and a political statement than it is an actual. I believe that this is kind of a fake kind of Islam. It's not, but her father was John Ryman, was a union organizer and a self-proclaimed Trotskyite. Her mother is Linda Fowler Blackston. She was raised by, now I can't even pronounce this name, O.G. Baba Blackston. Her paternal grandfather.
It's not Blackstone, is it?
Blackstone.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Her paternal grandfather was Gunter Reinmann, born Hans Steinnickel, a German Jewish Marxist economist and a member of the Communist Party of Germany who opposed Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich. She graduated from Howard University, where she earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree in African American Studies. She my words are getting subsequently earned a Master's of Arts degree and Doctor Philosophy PhD degree in political science from Southern California. She changed her name. her surname to Abdullah due to her marriage to filmmaker Falain Abdullah, and kept the name after the divorce. So she didn't. Abdullah is a tenured professor and served as a chair of the Department of Pan-African Studies of Southern California. She interviewed a 13th. She's interviewed in the documentary The 13th about mass incorporation. She is a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Society. So she may not be a Muslim, by the way. She just may have a Muslim surname or an Arab surname.
She looks like she's from Culver City.
Oh, good God, Joey. Yeah, well, she could have. She's probably been in that town, the heart of Screenland, and yeah, she looks like a full blown narcissist, egotist. Probably an egotist at best, maybe a full blown narcissist. And just in my opinion, yeah, go ahead, Joey.
She must be fun to have at parties.
I doubt it. And Jay, what's good, Stoic? Oh, thanks. I think this gentleman, I know him from Chaotic Truth. So he's come aboard here. And
Apocalypse is here too. Good day, sir.
Apocalypse, yes. He states that he is a homosexual.
He's finally out of the closet. Good job.
Maybe out of the closet. But
Jimmy Lethal thinks that I'm talking behind his back. Everyone's mad at me today. Get over yourself, people.
Get over yourself. It's too much egotism around here. Too much narcissism. Just I don't know. I feel like the world, much of the world, the post-Floyd, post-pandemic world, egotists have taken over that world.
People don't like it when people stand up and start doing something for themselves. Every freaking time there is a Jimmy Lethal that pops up. Maybe 10 of them.
There are a lot of control freaks out there.
Yes.
On either side of the world, and right now the left does have more control, and they don't respect, again, the speech of other people. And my goal is to return, at least have some sight. Well, maybe not my goal, but my hope. My hope and preference is to at least have like one site that is not controlled by woke and progressive nonprofits, and for that matter, religious groups as well. Just absolute, where we have the Wild West again, and we don't have that anymore. People can't necessarily handle that. And Wilfred Brimley's Rabbit, aka Jay. He says, I live free in your head, rent free in your head, thumbs down.
Please. As quickly as I said the name, I forgot it. So shut up. Don't even play that. Go back to bed. Go back to bed, kid.
You know, and the world has been taken over since the pandemic and since the post-Floyd era has been taken over, at least the media side of the world. Legacy media, much of social media has been taken over by what we would call the wokesters. And I define today's wokeism as moral authoritarianism disguised as quote unquote virtue. And we're just seeing that play out today. And
I'm trying to. I'll show you this video I watched recently from the early. It was an early interview. I want to say like 19. Gosh, I have to find the video, maybe 1960s or something, but it was something somebody said, and I said, "Wow, that sounds like kind of like the beginning of wokeism." Like you could see it now. Like now that you've seen it and you know what it means to be woke, go back and like look at kind of like old news stories, maybe even watch some old news broadcasts, and you'll see it all over the place. Just how the wokeness has been programmed through the generations. It's much stronger in my parents' generation, but it was kind of, I think, kind of on the DL, but it's kind of out there and exposed for what it is, and so yeah, that's what
Well,
we're doing. That's why we're walking on the woke.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone's calling this the perfect ticket, but these are two left wing radicals. And again, she's part of Generation X, which the leftist, before that, the leftist that were before Generation X are a little bit kinder, and they get a little bit more vicious and vile, just cruel and vile as the younger the generation, the more egocentric, the more entitled, the more sanctimonious they become. And you may disagree with this, but what I've observed is that the generation, each generation that that gets further is a little bit more arrogant, a little bit more just egocentric and less disciplined. Would you agree with that, Joey?
Jeez, I have no idea what the hell you just said. Can you re-summarize that? I mean, you really went on a bender there. Jeez, jeepers creepers.
I've been fasting today, Joey, and it makes me
Okay.
feel good. But I'll tell you
Hey,
this: it may make my brain and mind not work as effectively. But what I'm saying
just
is,
in
what
long
I'm
term, it's good. It's and probably getting all that junk out of your body. In that process, sometimes your words get bungled. Anyways, go ahead.
well, I'm saying just the younger the generation gets, the more particularly within the people that work in media and work in politics, the more egocentric and entitled they get.
Oh,
And
by the
yeah,
way, if I hate to interrupt you, but it was bothering me, so I looked and I found it. I figured out what it was, and it's a pretty amazing document. I think you should read it. And actually it's translated from German, so I can send you parts of it. And it's basically a civil statutes. Wait, what was it? It was more of a what was it called here? I don't have. Oh yeah, here it is. It's a Civil Status Law Reform Act, and I had it translated, and oh my goodness, the uh, wokeness there. Oh my god! And then there was this other thing. Oh, okay, I'm looking at it now. But the Germans, what I found interesting is that in this document, in this thing I had to have translated, and it's a really interesting read. It was from the late 1800s, and it talked about the social contracts that were being worked out in Germany. They were doing a lot of research at the time, and unbelievably, um, I don't know, unbelievable. But they were doing very deep research already in the late 1800s, and in this document, when it's translated in English, you could see wokeness in there. In fact, that was like the one thing that I made notes of this here. Completely woke. Just some of the stuff. So I think what we'll have to do is maybe go over this at some point together and read through it. You'll see what I mean. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Well, I was watching a thing on the American Nazi Party on PBS, and New Jersey had passed a law. It was called the free speech or the something the anti-racial, the anti-racial or anti-ethnic speech act, which, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was a law that basically said you couldn't speak bad about anyone's race or minority status and the like, and it got struck down by the New Jersey Supreme Court. So this was done, and this was done, by the way, in the mid to late 1930s, maybe early 1930s. I could be
Oh,
wrong.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another book I have here from 1937. Absolutely, absolutely at play already, and it's really important to go back to those um, earliest entries. This one's called the Estates of the Realm. Very friggin' interesting stuff here, and you were talking about like not even the 1900s, like late 1800s. So um, these things were already, these are things that are being played out right now.
Well, Joey, you know something? Americans, I mean, human beings by
Cool.
nature want to suppress, in my opinion, want to suppress freedom of speech. And for me, I kind of go back to when talking pictures first came out. They first set up the Hayes office, and then they set up what was known as the Legion of Decency, and that was done by Catholics. Uh, and they were primarily doing things to promote what they believed were good American solid values. And the film studio just kind of, basically curtailed to them and, let them, do what they wanted. And then by the 1960s, um, they came up with a rating system, and you could basically do what you want, but what you could show children and what you couldn't. That's the thing. And schools, and now they're talking about like the conservatives want to burn books. Look, when in reality they are censoring what is given to children, which every group does.
Brian, it's going on in full effect exactly as it was outlined in 1984. I've heard it, dude. I've been in the meetings where there's companies that go into our major universities and they digitize their entire library. Okay, very hard to find books. In some cases, one of a kind art, documents, reference books, and all of that stuff is then removed from the library or no longer accessible by the students or the general or by anyone.
One of
And
the yeah, one of the
and
things,
what they have done is all those documents are now digitally held, and if you and those are easily manipulated. If somebody doesn't like something in that digital format, um, who's to say that stuff's as it was originally designed to be interpreted?
well, I will say this: um, the internet is a weapon. AI, it can be the internet can be used as a weapon to hurt people, and so can AI. And do you want uh, this technology in the hands of a few people who basically are who are not upfront, who are very weaselly?
Well, the heck with that, Brian. The one thing I could do at the time, you know what I started doing?
What?
I've built, since I've learned about this, since I was in a meeting where I heard these deals going down. It's been about 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I started collecting any book I could that was made pre 1900. I have a library, a little library now. Not that many, a couple hundred books that were written in the 1800s now, and you know, and the value of those is some of these books are priced. I have a book from the 1500s from Marcus Aurelius, but I started collecting these as soon as I found out that these I'm talking about major universities like Stanford, you know, major universities having their entire libraries completely digitized. Give me a break.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, at any point we can see the, like the Ray Bradbury modern,
but they don't need to do that. They don't
fa-
need to. Yeah, they don't need to go ahead and have a town hall fire. Is what I'm saying. They could
no,
just have a thumb drive.
yeah. And again, that's why the digitized and technological world, that's where the fight is. That's where the war is. This economic war. The war is on information. And we are having people who are saying that freedom of speech does not mean freedom of reach. And really what they're saying is that this new technology is too dangerous for human beings. And again, it used to be, you know what? Bad speech can be combated through good speech. Not that way, not anymore. That's not what these people believe anymore. And
I've been told that the older the book, that their value is basically like they're worth their weight in gold now. In some cases,
yeah,
some books are so hard to find that people are willing to spend that much, thousands, whatever it is, a lot of money for or resources to get certain books, and it's because the information is dwindling, but it's going like right before our eyes. Like nobody seems to really care as long as there's 6 frozen pizzas in the freezer, a 6-pack of beer or whatever. I think they're all good to go.
well, information is can be as vital as food. I mean, it can uplift you, but it can also show you what to do in the name of a crisis
Yeah.
and how to handle things. And if one
Or,
person,
or maybe how to rebuild in case something like that happens.
yeah,
In many cases, a lot of it's how to build things that gets taken out.
and how can we have this modern renaissance when a few groups have taken over and want to control what we say and what we hear?
Right.
It's
Right.
absurd.
No. Meanwhile, they want us to think that there's actually words that are more powerful than others when they're spoken.
Yeah,
So, the demonized words, like, are worried about that and stuff. So,
yeah, they're worried about that,
he warned us.
not
Don't
about
say that word, Brian.
don't say that word. Me. Okay, what am I not
Okay.
allowed? What do I say that so offends you?
Right.
Boo hoo! Grow up. Grow
Uh-huh.
up. You either grow. You can either handle my harsh reality or another person's what you consider to be a harsh reality,
Mhm.
or not. And someone right here, Wilford Brimley's rabbit, said, let me see what he
Oh,
says
here we
here.
go.
Wait, no, no. You're going to be removed. Word hurt JP feelings.
What happened? I did not see it. Oh, words hurt. JP. What? What is he talking about? Sorry, what is she talking about? Where is one angry Jew? Oh, please. Howard doesn't come around because he's powerless.
And I'll do a show with Howard. It's just I've been tired lately, and my diabetes. I'm
Well,
defeating it, but
you did swear him off, Brian. You swore him off.
Did I swear him off?
You swore off. One
There,
angry Joe.
there are things I really dislike about Howard. Just
Yes.
particularly if I have other guests on, he tends to interfere with that, and that
Yeah.
that has to be my decision. It belongs to me. And like if you get involved, like if you're invited to a party and you try to control things, I don't like that. It is on my network. I want control, and that was the one problem with that dude. And then here he goes. Tell us more about your diabetes and bring back AAJ. He's better co-host. Okay, well, maybe he is. In your eyes, I think the Wilford Brimley rabbit is just more out of. He's very angry at you, Joey. I don't know why, but it's about anger. Some people are angry,
I don't know. I didn't even see what was said. Sorry.
and
Go
then he
on.
says that he's much funnier. Maybe he is. So again, we have a new vice president. We have we also know that RFK also picked a vice president. It's kind of a younger Chicky Poo.
Yeah.
The big guess is when is who is who's Trump going to pick as a vice president? That's kind of a big issue. Now we are. Oh, by the way, I want to mention that there's going to be a song coming up. We've written a song. I'm not even going to say what it's about, but it's hopefully it's going to be
A true banger, Brian. I think it's the words you're trying to spit out. It's a true banger.
yes. You guys are going to want to put it like early. I know Christmas isn't like off ways, but this is one that you'll put in your stocking for your
You
children.
might actually find a reason in your heart to support transparency and merit after you hear this song.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, we're living in a post
Yes.
Floyd, and I don't want to use the C word, but a post pandemic world.
Man, I have so many thoughts about it, and they're so different from your points of view. But I'm interested to see what you think about this so-called post. What is it? Post-Floyd world. Yeah, explain to me this, because I have a theory on it, but it's so different. I probably won't even get to it here.
Well,
But
as far as post Floyd goes, that's when a lot of like social media, the woke just basically took over. They took away Stefan Molyneux.
that's the marker. Wow.
They took away. No, I'm just saying how it affected the social media world.
Yeah. No, I follow. Okay, go.
I mean, again, cancel culture even became larger and bigger. And my opinion is the best way to fight it is economically. I think we have to go over these woke nonprofits and basically strategically boycott them and force them to come to the table. I mean,
absolutely.
You can't, and you do
your wallets at all times.
Yeah, and litigation. I mean, if any of these people get violent, you sue them and you sue the organization for every penny into bankruptcy, into the bread lines, and kick and with no bread.
Nobody's going to get violent. Stop watching the news, people.
Oh, there are people that get violent. There are cuckoo birds, but on average,
we did have a guy a gruss on us once.
Yeah, we did. You remember old Hurricane Dean?
And Hurricane Dean, we've had two. He threatened both of our livelihoods.
Yeah,
Hurricane Dean did.
People are definitely dangerous.
Dangerous, yeah. It's a dangerous thing.
The one thing that the internet has shown is that there are a lot of people who, when they get hurt, act out. Yeah. And, you don't have to be a big station to see, how how people can act out at any moment. And for no good reason whatsoever, not like you anymore or whatever. And then, like, it's not that they go away. They go in and they try to hurt you. It's like, The internet, you know what? The internet doesn't bring people together. It really brings. It really is divisive, and at times it's brought out the worst in humankind. Joey, is there anything to add before I call this show a day?
So who is this loaf of bread that you have pictured?
Oh, that's a picture of Megan Hunt,
Oh,
who,
that's right.
who basically I would like to see brought some sort of justice. I mean, or at least some form of inquiry. I'd like to see her
Yes.
go before Congress and explain her actions about the death of a former Marine. I can't remember his name, but
Certainly no hanky was, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we look forward to that Megan Hunt.
Yeah.
Are you sure her name's not
Representative Megan Hunt of Nebraska. And
it's not Mike, right? Michael?
Nope, it's Megan. Anyway, Joey, what do you have to say before I end this puppy?
The same as I always do. Like and subscribe. Damn. Leave some comments, man.
Yeah. By the way, Sunday, I believe we will be doing a movie show, and it'll be talking about 1978, 1979, the effect that Star Wars had on the movie studios and the films that came out at that time, the sci-fi films that came out in response to Star Wars. And Joey and I will have a discussion on some of those films. Some of them, most of them were not that good. There were a few maybe gems, maybe.
I think the best part about those discussions are the other kind of side movies. You know what I mean? Like the other movies just kind of pop up into the conversation that these films may trigger, or, you know, may resemble in some way.
There are a lot of times that films, like, they think one film makes money, and then they start to saturate the market with a type of film. And Star Wars definitely had that effect. And most of the films were not that good, with a few gems, maybe one or two. Anyway, Joey, let's call it a day. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Thank you for listening.